All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Steve. I'm joined with my buds of the Things We Dig podcast. Who do we got?
Hey, everybody out there, this is Dave.
Hey world, Chris Fig here.
Hey everybody, this is the other Chris.
And today we're talking Peacemaker. Have you guys been watching this Peacemaker series?
Yeah, man. After you guys were all talking about it during the podcast and our texts, I had to check it out, and I binged all 3 episodes, and I'm hooked now, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, man, same here. I knew I was gonna watch it. I'm just, especially it being this is the first DCU show, right? This is the only one, I guess.
Mhm.
And at first I was like, Peacemaker's cool. I was like, I might check it out. And then you guys were talking about it, like you said, Chris. And I was like, okay, let me just watch it. And instantly I'm like, holy shit, like this is really good. Like John Cena is killing it as in this role. He did in Suicide Squad, but he also was up against a lot of other surrounding cast members. But in this one, taking the lead, really well done.
Oh, yeah, man, I agree. You guys know I was kind of a little bit of a John Cena hater, but he's won me over, man. And especially in this series, like Fig said, it was something I wasn't really looking forward to per se, but gave it a go and I've been hooked. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I'm kind of surprised because with his character arc or story arc in the Suicide Squad, with him killing Rick Flag, I'm surprised I still like this guy, dude. Like, I can just totally forgive him for that now.
Yeah, I lend that to John Cena. I mean, I wasn't not really a John Cena hater, but I didn't think he was a good actor, and he is crushing it in this series. Like, there's been a few different scenes where I'm like, damn, he's got really range that I didn't expect. And I think that and just the really good writing too has lit, like you said, Steve. I find myself like I hated him at the end of the movie, and now I love him and I want the best for him.
Yeah, he definitely has a lot more layers in this TV show, and he's showing how he's can be vulnerable. His relationship with his dad, him feeling bad for killing Rick Flag. Like he mentions it throughout the episode of like shit, like was he right? Because Rick Flag tells him like Peacemaker, and I'm paraphrasing. He's like that's full of shit or whatnot, and you're really getting deep down of like Peacemaker really believing he's doing the right thing. His dad just warped his brain so
Mhm.
tough that he is like, "Fuck, am I doing the right thing?"
Well, what's that saying? He's always saying like, I will do anything to get peace. Like if I have to murder any man, woman, or child to get it.
And I found out his name was Chris in the show, or in his character's name was Chris. I was like, "Oh, I like this guy even more now."
Yeah, like you said, Fig, though, his dad is a real piece of shit, man. The White Dragon, finding out more
Oh
about him now,
yeah,
and you're like, oh,
I
goddamn, you're
know.
like leader of the
Yeah,
clan, supervillain, man. Shit.
dude, it was as soon as he went into jail and sits down and that happens, I was like, oh my God. It explains a lot about Peacemaker himself. And it is cool touching on what you were saying, Fig. He's kind of just like torn at this point. Like, what does he do? And I think we're gonna see a lot more of these layers come peeled back on this character.
Dude, I didn't know his helmets have special capabilities.
Yeah, that was
Oh
really
my God.
that
That
room.
kill that he got with that helmet, dude.
Yeah, he
Oh.
vaporized that girl, dude.
On the first butterfly, yeah.
The other agent, she's like, "Is this pizza? What is this pizza?" And she's like, "That's a face." She's like, "Oh."
Oh my God, yeah, dude.
But yeah, his helmet doing these things. Again, I have no idea about Peacemaker. I didn't know about him until this last Suicide Squad movie came out. But that room that his dad has is super badass. You're like, oh shit, like it's like a supervillain's lair. He has this high tech secret room, which is really cool.
Yeah, what he's like called it an unfolding pocket dimension. It's like, what, you don't have one of these?
Yeah. I thought it was funny too, just the supporting cast in this. Everybody is hilarious from the team that he's working with, but also his sidekick, that one guy who just wants to be like his sidekick, but also Eagly. When they first introduced Eagly, I thought it was so funny, man. I was dying.
Oh, the hug he gives. It's like, look,
Yeah,
Dad, grab your camera. He's hugging me.
yeah, and he's like, Dad?
His dad doesn't give a shit at all.
Dude, and Vigilante is hilarious, man. He like is just a real psychopath. Like Peacemaker doesn't want to be a psychopath or whatever. He wants to think he's a good guy. Like Vigilante's like, yeah, no, I'll kill anyone. Give me the rifle. Do, 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 do.
Yeah, so with Peacemaker, this gives me hope that I know the DCU is kind of somewhat like hit or miss, or people not really sure what the future holds for them. I hope we get a lot more shows within the DCU. Just like we're, Marvel, you want to see things connect, even if they're not fully overlapping with each other. It's just kind of interesting to know that the DC world has like other pockets of things that are going on within it. And I hope more series come about. If they're as good as this, I think it would be a success. Maybe TV is the way DC goes.
Yeah, they say the DC universe is kind of ending or it's dead, but doesn't seem like it.
Maybe like, yeah, I could see some of the main storylines with the DCU, like the stuff from the Justice League with that whole debacle, but definitely things like the Suicide Squad or branching off in new directions and stuff I'd be interested in seeing, especially if it's going to be high quality like this.
I think the one thing that DC has going for it, though, is it's kind of still wide open for them to do a lot. Like Marvel has kind of jumped in and over the past decade plus, has slowly built up these stories and character lines where DC, I felt like, kind of would start something up and it would look promising. And then they'd just be like, nope, we're done with this. And then they kind of try to rehash a lot of those same projects, just bring us new characters even and stuff. Who cares about all the old stuff? So I'm excited to see. I was really surprised by this series, and I'm excited to see what else they throw our way. But I know I have to bring this up. Fig brought this up a little earlier before we were recording, but just the opening intro to the show, man, the dance sequence, that's one of the best intros on TV right now. It has to be, hands down.
Oh, hilarious, man. To see all these actors, like these respected actors, and even his dad, I know he's not this way in real life, but like to see that older man like do these like crazy dance moves, I'm like, oh, it's hilarious. And I saw a little behind the scenes of it. James Gunn was like, I wanted to do something that was outside of the superhero comic book world that no one's seen before for an intro. And I think he nails it, man. I'd never skip it because the music catchy and just their dance moves. It's so funny. And it's what, 20 seconds long. So I'm like, oh, I'll watch it, because it's that funny.
Like you said, Fig, I don't skip it. And I think it might be the only show I watch where I watch it every single time and enjoy it every single time. It's that good.
I won't lie, though. I go to skip it every time, and I'm like, not this time.
Exactly.
Dude, that old man, his father, Robert Patrick, T-1000.
Oh, yes, that is right. Yeah, he's obviously a lot older now. I knew he looked familiar. I just didn't look him up. But yeah, now that you say that, dude, he just has that mean grizzle look to him, and he kills it in his role as White Dragon. That suit they showed, again, I had no idea who the White Dragon was. So you look stuff up, and it's pretty spot on to being comic book accurate. So I'm hoping either he puts it on and goes up against Peacemaker, or someone does, because I would love to see that White Dragon suit in live action fighting.
What do you guys think about the whole storyline with the butterflies?
I'm definitely intrigued. I was wondering, like, I mean, you could tell when they're saying, oh, we got these butterflies, and he fights that chick, like, oh, they must all be metahumans. But now to learn that they're, I don't know, aliens or something that's just infecting people, I'm curious. I want to learn more how do they take someone over, and like, can you remove one without killing someone, and et cetera, et cetera.
It's very interesting, especially in that last episode where you finally did get that reveal, because it was funny when they did tell him and he's like, what, am I going to be fighting a huge giant butterfly now or something, and you see it when they get that last kill and he's actually holding it and he just goes, butterfly or whatever. But yeah, it's very interesting. And I'm along with Chris, I was thinking the same thing. Like, can you save these people? Is the only way to do it by killing them? So I guess we'll find that out as the show keeps going on.
That part you were talking about, Dave, was hilarious. He was like, Mothra? I'm gonna fucking fight Mothra now? And they like don't say anything. He's like, I am gonna have to fucking fight Mothra. I was dying.
I like that these butterflies are essentially a true villain, very comic book kind of related story. Like I know, there's a whole lot of stories within comic books, but this kind of feels like, oh, this could be, and I'm sure it has happened in the comic books. I just, again, not familiar with, Peacemaker or these, stories, but I'm like, oh, I like that aspect of kind of like they're taking over these people's bodies, and just a really interesting plot, for a villain for this series.
And as well, it's the angle with the lady who's always bringing the Suicide Squad together,
Amanda Waller.
Yeah, Amanda Waller, dude, and her daughter being kind of a little sleeper cell or, secret agent within this team makes you wonder what that angle is as well. Is it just she wants to know what's going on, or I'm sure we're going to find something out about that too.
And there's way more to that girl than she's letting on, because she acts so like innocent, like, oh, I'm so naive and I don't really know what skills I bring to the team. But then she's like pretty good at manipulating. And when she has to take that shot at Judo Master, she shoots him like fucking center mass from however far away, and was just like, oh yeah, like, well, that's not like something someone who's panicking in the moment would do.
She
You know what I
she
mean?
mentions it too, and they underestimate her a lot, but she'll be like, I'm trained in all of these, combat training and defenses and stuff. And everybody's always kind of like, yeah, sure, whatever. But yeah, we're gonna see how badass she is throughout this season.
How badass Judo Master is. He's taking a beating and still alive.
Eating
He's
his
Yeah.
mullet,
hilarious.
He's
crowbar
the
to the
best.
fucking head.
Yeah.
When he's trying to take his toe off.
Yeah, the humor is done really well. Sometimes, with humor within superhero shows can be a little forced or cheesy, but I think it's the writing, especially with, Chris, you're talking about certain one-liners with Peacemaker and the rest of his team. You're like, oh, dude, just funny. Like it's hitting
Mhm.
all the jokes have been hitting so far, at least these 4 episodes. So I hope it
Mhm.
continues going forward.
Yeah, dude. And John Cena definitely is perfect for that role. And whoever is writing, the writing is spot on, man. 100%.
I think in episode 3 they mentioned the Berenstain Bears Mandela
Yeah.
effect. So I got a question for you guys. Risky Business. Tom Cruise sliding out. What is he wearing?
Uh,
Um,
Boxers, sunglasses, and a dress shirt. And
That's the
socks?
thing, right? There's no sunglasses.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
no sunglasses? What?
Yeah, same.
Okay.
In my image, it's always sunglasses. I was looking up some Mandela effect examples, and that's a big one that got me.
Wow.
damn, yeah, I thought he had sunglasses too. And to talk about the episode, I had a ton of those books as a kid. I loved them. And I could have swore it was the Bernstein Bears.
Yeah.
So after the
same
episode, I had
here.
to look it up, and it was the Bernstein Bears. So I'm like, what
Yeah.
the fuck, man? I love these.
Pretty-
I own them.
Pretty much every example you'll look up, dude, even if you don't remember, it just makes you be like, fuck, I don't remember which one is real. But for me, it was the monocle on the Monopoly Man. I thought he always had a monocle. I guess he
yeah.
doesn't.
No monocle, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember the pronunciation was always Bernstein, and I thought maybe it's Bernstein, but I never
Mhm.
thought Bernstein.
Yeah,
Berenstain
I'd never.
Bears.
And looking at it now, it's an A. So I'm like, where did I? What?
It used to be they made it into a cartoon at one point as well, dude. And I used to watch that. And I thought the same thing. Even how you said, Steve, when it was the books, I was like, oh, is this Bernstein or Bernstein? But never Bernstein, ever.
Living in an alternate reality, fellas.
Oh,
That's,
yeah.
that's what they say is the theory, right? Like a multiverse where the Berenstain Bears crossed over or a time traveler made a mistake.
The one that I always saw, it was the Higgs box Bodson or whatever, where they were trying to collide particles, and that's what did it, is when they achieved it. Like what did they do? They were trying to, do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's like a nuclear accelerator, like in Sweden
Oh,
or
okay.
somewhere, and they were trying to collide particles and do something that you shouldn't be doing, and people advised them against it. They did it, and everybody said when that happened, that's what caused the shift in the multiverse. And so there's blending and blurring. So sometimes you could even be in your multiverse, but other times like certain lines have blurred over and crossed over. And so that's why there's different memories of different events. And that's why they call it the Mandela effect as well, because a lot of people have memories of Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 90s, early 90s, and like his funeral on television and all this and that. And then obviously other people have the version of Nelson Mandela living to be an old man, getting out of prison, becoming president, of South Africa. So it's very interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of one of those things you hope is real just because it makes living on Earth like, oh, that's interesting. Like stuff you see from a sci-fi movie, I hope could be real because it's pretty cool.
I'd like to think that there's a bunch of really dope versions of myself throughout the multiverse, each cooler than the last. I want to meet them.
Which one are you?
Look, I'm pretty high up on the list as far as the cool factor goes, but I'm sure there's a few above me,
It's like multiplicity. They just get dumber and dumber.
No, yeah, I'm probably pretty. That's probably more closer to the truth. I'm like far down the dumb line.
Yeah, it's true now. Fur down.
Pretty far down that list.
But yeah, Peacemaker, man, dude, I'm glad it's great. John Cena's killing it. Just overall, man, I can't wait for the rest of the season and see where they take that at.
Oh yeah, dude.
It definitely became the show I number one look forward to every week. So
Same.
high praise.
When is that release?
Every
Thursday nights.
Thursday, yeah. HBO Max.
How many episodes they gonna make? Do you know?
That I don't know. Hopefully at least 12. Usually it's what streaming services are doing now. 12 is
Ooh.
usually
I would say that you're aiming for the clouds, dude. I think most of them are doing like 8 or 10
8.
these days.
it's 8. Yeah, 8, maybe 12 is maybe like the older, since maybe higher budgets are in effect. Maybe 8's more the more realm they're going into. So
The first season.
yeah.
Cool.
All right, fellas. Well, great talking to you guys on Peacemaker. Till next time. Catch you guys later.
Have a good one, fellas.
Late.
Keep the peace.